chronographs. Their connection to auto racing, Hollywood backlot video shoots, and salad dressing have made them some of the most desirable watches in the market today. Sadly, the inherent complexity of their movements makes them expensive. Omega tried to address this issue by using duct tape and Elmer's glue to strap a DD 2020 chronograph module to the ETA 2890 movements in the Speedmaster Reduced. Micro brands have embraced the Seagull ST19 movement as their way of making affordable chronographs, while many others have simply chosen to opt for meca-quartz movements. But how good are these meca-quartz equipped watches anyway? How do they perform? To answer this question, I decided to conduct a full-fledged test, one where I'd run 2 of the leading watches with this type of movement through their paces to see how they stack up. The watches in question are the Roue TPS and the Hoffman Racing 40. Sadly, no ranch dressing companies allowed me into their factories to time different steps in the production of this most American of condiments. Likewise, going to the moon was a bit out of my budget, so I opted for the only choice left. I booked a round-trip flight to Dubai in order to drive an open-wheel, single-seater race car. Not content with mere watch-related cosplay, I wanted to actually use the chronograph watches for their intended purpose. The length of the flight was grueling, but I knew it would be well worth it. After all, has any other YouTube channel or print publication gone through such lengths to test what in the end are merely quartz watches? Nope. So how did the test go? Like the flight to Dubai, the test itself was grueling. As it turns out, driving a race car while wearing a fire retardant suit and helmet when it's 105 degrees Fahrenheit out is a bit taxing on the human body, particularly after such an insanely long flight. Once in the car, I remembered that I don't really know how to use a tachometer, one of the primary features in a chronograph. Sure, some YouTube videos explain how to use one, but I was in Dubai, and international data rates being what they are, I simply couldn't afford to sit there watching a long YouTube video, especially after having paid for a round-trip ticket to Dubai. Despondent, I drove around the track, trying my best to hit the apex at every turn, all while wearing one chronograph on each wrist. The thick driving gloves, now soaked in my sweat, made it difficult to use the chronograph's pushers. So in the end, I didn't get to test that feature either, and suddenly realized that the trip to Dubai had cost many times over what both watches combined cost. Was the test a complete and utter failure? One that was ill-advised and poorly executed at every step? Perhaps, but in the spirit of growth and self-betterment, I have chosen to frame it as a learning opportunity. As such, I'll be visiting 2 different ranch dressing factories next month to try to run this test a second and more affordable time. Stay tuned and don't worry. I promise to watch videos on YouTube about how to use a tachometer, and hopefully also some about how the word is actually pronounced.